trading. We're going to take a look at the chart and I'm going to give you some information to go with. Thank you so much for joining me. I got a lot of information here, most views videos here. Live threshold, how far the bar pulled back before it resumed the price action trend. You just need to be able to count to 10. The price action method, I use the majority principle, which states that the minority is compelled to follow. I use the chart scale, all right? That bezel, you can read your hard right edge without having to look left to know where the market is going to turn at, so that's important. I want to go ahead and show you something really quickly before we go to the charts here. All right, just want to go ahead and show you that. All right, so appreciate all the support prior to this that video there, and just want to go ahead and say that to you. All right, before they went down, let's just take a look at this chart before we dive into the other charts there. Before they went down, I'm just try to feed it to you based on the push. All right, now this is the circle. I took those arrows off of the other charts because I just want you to kind of zero in on this particular indication here. We did this last week, and so I stripped the chart down. We're just going to go with that. Now on this chart, I got all three of these, and here's some rules that you can use. It's more kind of like a little bit more information to trade them, but I can't put it on here. But just go ahead and pay attention to these circles, which is that push. Again, that's two indications combined. I combined it into just one text, one signal here. All right, so they were up. First they were up and then they turned. So we're going to go from here and kind of walk it all the way forward. And I put the zones here. I just drew these out actually, just so you don't have to figure out what was happening with that particular bar. Now I'm going to just push through this just really quickly, and then we're going to go to the other charts. And it's the same information. I just didn't draw all the zones. All right, so it's that circle, the push, the DTT push X. All right, it's a single bar plot, occasionally two bar plot, but primarily it's a single bar plot. You do not want these guys closing outside the back of these bars. I want to say that should they have done that, I tried to put an arrow where that took place. All right, so I did try to do that. So if they managed to go outside the bar itself but did not close, I tried to indicate that on the chart. But here's all the actual setups from that decline and all the way up until now. So I'm gonna kind of just scroll this forward here so you can kind of put some context to the movement. The circle, pay attention to the circle. The rules are there for the other three indications, but just try to pay attention to the circle. All right, single bar plot, occasionally a two bar plot. We had one in this bottom. Let me just throw this here, because once they close outside this signal, okay, once they close outside this signal, that's bad. You don't want that happening. It can create a major problem for the market to go ahead and turn the head in the opposite direction. Something simple that I put together, very simple indicator, to be quite honest with you. It doesn't take a lot to read the market, and that's why I made the channel, so I can make sure you guys can read the charts with nothing on it. Should you be in the market for additional indications or education, I do provide that. Now again, this is one indicator. I'm giving away 300 of them for $100. All right, $100. Just take a look now. All right, just look at all the fluctuations. And again, if it overshot the bar but did not close outside that bar, I tried to put a blue little arrow there to let you know that that signal still held up because they just overshot it. Just take it in. And then we're going to go to the other chart and take a look at this same signal, but on the different time frames there, the 15-minute, the hourly, the 5-minute. This is your 1 minute. I have that on the opposite side of this chart as well. But I wanted to do this first, so that way you can kind of keep in context what's happening. Those other indications, those three here, are also single bar plots. All right, so you got 4 single bar plot indications here. I know it got real messy down here. All right, so it got really messy here. So I'm gonna just leave this here just for a second so you can kind of absorb what was happening with that. You're more than welcome to pause the video, but I'm gonna leave this here just for a second. All right. Okay, a lot of back and forth. Now this is where they're at currently. They're beneath this one. Now they did put one here. We got to see where it goes. All right, so that's what you got. All right, so let me get that out your way. Again, that's the DTT push X. If you have the suite, please put that on your chart. Really important indicator. Make it a little simpler for you. Kind of clean up all of that back and forth. All right, so that was that 1 minute. It was already here. Let's go back and take a look at where we left off at. All right, gave you guys some information in that last video. I definitely want you to go back and take a look at that as well. I'll talk about it a bit, but go back. Just go back. They came up. So when they came up on yesterday, right? They had a reaction here, and I put that on Twitter. You're more than welcome, X or whatever you want to call it, Meta, Facebook, whatever. You're more than welcome to come over there if you want. I'll probably just be doing that moving forward because the participation is dropping off here. So I'm gonna just probably just snap a picture or two and throw it up there occasionally. All right. So they reacted when they came up. They went up on yesterday evening, and they kind of just came out of that zone. That's where we had left off. All right, and they went down. I told you that these guys may be in the market to go ahead and drop this possibly for the rest of the month. I told you that in yesterday's video. All right, so I snapped the shot this morning, and I had put that zone here, and I put it here on this 5 minute. I think the hourly already had it. I just projected it forward, but they managed to get through here. They reacted when they jumped up on yesterday. They reacted. They jumped into the zone. They fell out of it. That's what we just looked at on that 1 minute. They came back up, kind of leaned out of it, but then, of course, they went through it at 9 o'clock. They went through it and closed outside of it. Sucks, but we still got that zone up there. And again, this zone was put here about 2 videos ago. I don't know. It's been put here. This price level. Now, I want to go ahead and say this to you if you're new and you haven't been watching me for the last week or so. I gave you guys this price level not Sunday that just passed, but the prior Sunday on the 10th, I want to say, on the 10th. I gave you this price level. Mind you, I was gone for 2 months. So I came back just to let you know, hey, this is a problem, this price right here. And I want to go ahead and tell you, again, from yesterday's video, I told you if they're going to try to keep this market down, the sellers won't let them pass here. However, and I want to go ahead and say this to you, I want to be fair about this. If they're going to try to drive it back up, those buyers are not going to let them get past that 27.5. All right, and I said that in yesterday's video. You're more than welcome to go back. There's a little bit more information there, but just the gist of it. There you go. And so they ended up turning back around. They absorbed that signal. They are started to use it for resistance, and they're plotting the circle. You see that circle? All right, pulled up into it, took off. This is your 15-minute chart. Here's that circle here. All right, now they had one on this high. Okay, I just want to go ahead and tell you that there's one up here. Okay, let me blow that up for you. All right, so they had one on this high. They had this one, of course. They went and then they turned the corner. Had one here, kind of close beneath it. Go ahead and drop. But then they came with this one. All right, they had one here. When they absorbed that one, they had one here. They pulled into it, dropped down. Then they came in with that one, pushed up, leaned under it. All right, so they leaned under there. They did not close. Turned around, took off to the upside, and that's your 15-minute chart. Now, your 5 minute. All right, we already looked at the 1 minute, so we don't have to do that. Your 5 minute. What do we have up here? Because they went up just a bit. Yeah, we have one here. All right, and we have one here. Again, single bar plots. Occasionally, 2-bar plot. I want to go ahead and say that to you. When they close below or above the signal, that's bad. You don't want that. That can cause a major problem moving forward. All right. They pulled up to, of course, to this one. They dropped down, jumped back up, came close to that one and took off. And then this one held them steady for just a bit. Had one here, had one here. They pulled down to that. You get it. All right. That's why I took you to the 1 minute chart first, so you can kind of understand what's happening. They didn't close under this one. They went under it, pulled up to this one here. Then they tested that one as well, pulled up again, closed beneath this one, came in with that one, rotated down, held this one, pushed up to it. They absorbed it, turned it back around. Notice they never closed under this one here. They clipped it, but then turned around. Now this one they closed under it. Stay down. That's all you would have to do is stay down. Go ahead and stay down. But then they came back with it. All right, came back with it. This is a problem. They closed above this one here. Okay, so when they did this signal here, they closed above this one here. Okay, and then they ended up moving up a bit more. Now, they turned the corner. There's one. Well, actually, it was one up here. This little teeny guy sitting right here. This little teeny guy that they pulled into and then took off. There's one there. They pulled up to this one. They closed above it. Go ahead and go. But then they came back and closed back beneath that one, pushed down just a bit more, and they came in here. And so that's what you have. All right. And then again, I put this on that social media. It was one right here, one right here, one right. You get it. You understand what's happening with that signal. All right. So If you're new to trading, I'm going to show you this diagram really quickly here, and I want to make sure that you understand that you can trade any chart without anything on it, so you don't need my indications. All right, now the bar coloring, I'm going to go ahead and explain to you what's making for the bar color. Matter of fact, let's do it on this chart. Let's just do it on this chart. Here's a big old chart, big chart. You can see it. What's making for the bar color is this. All right, there's a pressure that's coming on because it's actually getting the mid above. There we go. All right, no, this is not that color. I can't use that chart. I can't use that chart. It colored that bar green. It colored that bar green. That's a different bar color. I can't use that chart. So here, what happens? This midpoint had got above that high. That's why that pressure came on. This midpoint got above that high. All right. So this is what you're looking for in the chart. Every chart. Don't matter what chart it is, what market. Doesn't matter what time frame. If that midpoint, all right, if that midpoint can exceed that bar's high, this bar should turn green. If this midpoint, okay, if that midpoint, okay, you get it right here, okay, if it can exceed that bar's low, it'll turn red. Now, this is what you're going for in most cases. This is what you're going to reach for. You're going to reach for this, all right, what it's telling you that it's willing to do. You're going to reach for that, all right. So here, let's just put it here. It's saying that it can get that far. That's what it's suggesting. I know it's at the chart scale. Remember, I told you got to be able to read your bezel. I went on and divided up the chart so I don't have to kind of draw that out too. Now that diagram that I just drew for you, I actually have it over here. It's out of habit. All right, so there's the mid getting above that bar's high. There's the mid getting beneath that low. The bar turns red. That bar turns green. Now the next two things you're looking for is a big wick, little wick, small body being able to fit into the big body at least twice. Most of the time, if this is going to fail, they're only going to go roughly about halfway and they'll turn around. Just give you a little bit more information. Private community know this stuff. We know a lot more about what's happening with this. All right, so I want to go ahead and just put that out there. All the times that I've been telling you guys, hey man, they'll come back. They'll take that pivot out. I've been doing that since last week. Hey, don't trust that pivot. They'll come back and they'll sweep it. There's a lot of things like this pivot here. When they turn the corner, here, I knew they'll come right back through it. It's an absolute guarantee that that was going to happen. Let's go take another look here. Just see what we got back here. They went down just a bit. Where did they stop it? I want to see where they stopped at. And let me just do this really quickly. I just want to throw something right here so I can go take a look. Just want to throw that there really quickly. Go take a look. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, they should be able to get back down there. That shouldn't be a problem. They're gonna come off this low though. I get it. I get it. They're gonna go up a little bit. All right. So that's what you're looking for. Those are the three things. Now, typically with any bar, but definitely this scenario here with the red and green bars, I primarily like the threshold on the bar with the stop. So the threshold is just I don't have it on here. See, it made it. I like the threshold that's on the bar with the stop. Now, I don't have it on these bars, but I do provide that. Most of the time, the live candle, this one is moving up and down, will drop back and then it'll push into that threshold. Now, the threshold is roughly just halfway outside of the midpoint of the bar. I'll just say it that way. It's a math to it. It's a math to it, but it's just roughly outside midpoint of the bar. You don't want them to go too far in the bar because then they'll run the stop. So even if you're wanting to trade without a two-bar setup, and again, I showed you a chart with four indications, and each one of these are single bar plots, each one of them, except for the circle. Occasionally, I want to say that occasionally, sometimes it's two, just occasionally. All right, so there's that circle there. All right, so we have it here. You can see it there. All right, the circle came in. All right, so here's your circle. They overshot this one just for a little bit. Just for a little bit. All right, just for a little bit. They play games. That's what they do. All right. And then this one, and they're just going, just ripping. All right. Will they turn around today? They may hold that for the rest of this evening, I suppose. But I do suspect that they may move lower. I do suspect that. I really do. So yeah, that's what I wanted to tell you guys, man. If you are in need of additional indications or information, you can use the information below the video. Just email me. We can arrange a time where you can get onto the playlist. We'll arrange a moment where I can add you to the playlist. Take a few moments to put you on on the videos because I got to drop your email in there. But nevertheless, if you want the suite, the indicator suite, you can have it. I use PayPal. All right. I don't know if any one of you are familiar with their, their process, but I am someone that uses PayPal to make sure that both of us feel safe about the transaction. All right. So I wish you all the best with your trading. There's a lot of information on this channel. Please do your best to slow it down, take all of it in. Try not to go too far with your potential profits as well. I want to say this before I go because I know a lot of you get in trades and then you're wondering what to do with it once it starts moving. You go for a target. So if it's a single bar plot, go for a single bar target. If it's a 2-bar plot, go for a 2-bar target. Whatever's the reason why you're taking the trade, whatever's your reason, all right? Try to go for something reasonable. I want to say that to you. $99.21 can go really, really far, all right? It's $2,000 a month. I wish you all the best with your trading. Take care.